From here we are like 10 minutes to land in Sirena. So for all the people who are still wearing their hiking shoes,
touch this tree. I talk a little bit about this, but I hear something here. Oh, there are monkeys. Okay, the ants feed with a little bread around here. Okay, this.
You also have howler.
Howler, yeah. checking because sometimes we see a faulty. That's a big chilamate.
Brown con curacao. You can see here in the telescope. Great curacao. It's in there. Nails are black and females are brown.
Okay, I hear this bird now.
Our second. Yeah, second friend.
Yeah, it's come. Thank you. That's a big group. It's okay. No problem. Okay, now I see the monkey. Okay, that's a clamato. Let's see. The light refreshing the hair more reddish. Or more like reddish and yellow.
Kann man es gut sehen, das Kind? Wenn das Gesicht ist so ein bisschen verblüht.
And then this monkey, the tail is stronger than the hand. So they can use the tail more than the hand. They eating sometimes with the head down, but it's hanging only with the tail. No. 4 hours, something like that. But the idea do the other loop and the next loop over there, and then launch. Okay, this is a balsa tree. This tree, balsa wood, the big one. Balsa wood. Okay, this is a little muddy, but it's not too much. That shoes is okay. Turkey. Yeah, you hear the sound of maybe it's up. Okay, now it's up. I saw something black. Okay, that's a stronger tree. Just grow up in another tree and kill the tree. I think it's still killing the tree now. I think it's still some branches out. And then they find nutrients over the top because the leaf and this is composing. That's the big group of mammals we have. Bats.
He's gone, I guess. He must be there.
Yeah, you want to try to take pictures?
Regarde, est-ce que c'est
Non. Là, le truc est juste là. C'est...
This first tree or behind?
Yes.
the second one?
The blue heron now. There's a little blue heron. Little blue heron. You can put in the telescope.
Pero es culpa ya de reservaciones, porque a veces no contestan, ya no es culpa yo.
Ah, pero el de la rueda es uno. The thing is like a low.
Stacheln.
La pura orilla y uno, ¿no?
Sí, la voy a estudiar también.
Más que lo vimos cazar y todo. Ah, cazar por el pan. Ahí lo tienen.
Nosotros le decimos que está ahí, ya no lo veo.
También la playa.
Okay. Yellow spray.
Sí.
Yeah.
Come out, no?
Ah, eso.
Make a little bit.
Yeah.
Come out, no?
Ah, eso.
Make a little bit. Like you will know. This is another round.
Beautiful flower.
Best picture when they relax.
You guys see this is a triangle?
Still hiding. Try it, take picture with the telephone. It's really nice. Nice.
He's just sitting there. Menu. He's looking at us.
Yeah, we are looking to see now because this monkey
Very,
is on I put or throw a glass. I move that way because I think that the blue lab is over there.
There on the left. One.
See the face in it.
Which one? Sitting there. Yeah, man, genau, das sieht
See now? Gracias.
This is a medium size. You don't have to carry a little more.
Oh yeah, he's moving that way now. We have two different kind anteaters. We have one smaller than the whistle. We call silky anteaters. It's hard to see. So you follow the monkey, I listen noise. Okay?
Das ist ein Schwanz an der Spinne, ne?
Find one thing here, okay? Very delicious. Another one there. 2, 3.
Can we try to take a picture of the family because we don't really, we can't really dress.
Can I try?
Yeah, sure. I don't know how to. Oh, perfect.
The way
No. Oh.
It's a blue sky, I think it's okay. Yeah, it's very wet. You see the baby now. Down below is the baby. You can see the face. You see the baby? Down below is the baby.
Ja. Guck mal schnell durch, du siehst ja das Baby, wie es hinkrabbelt.
Okay, I stop and then I try to be ready.
Ja, kann ich so besser gut. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Okay, I be ready, then okay, do another one. Let me be like this. Okay, put the head better like that.
Great. Thank you. So the male just leaves?
Male, normally.
Very
So
soon.
when you see, we see mother and baby or alone. It's only with maiden you see two together.
You can now see the baby when you look again below.
You see?
Yeah, no, you can see the nicely also with the face.
Now good. Now going up. Okay. Now could be you see the baby now. Baby start eating, I think now.
Yes, yes, the baby's here.
Yes, baby's eating.
Baby now is climbing on the other one.
Now from here the mother show the face very well. Sitting gently. We have to keep in here. Okay. But it's okay. We checking the ranges around. And you can see here very well. Mother, baby. Okay, baby's in the back. See the face now?
Which enemies does this?
Sloth.
Yeah,
The
sloth.
puma. The sloth coming down to make poop. More put the eggs on the.
Ich bräuchte gleich auch mal Schluckwasser.
Okay, remember we're back to do the next review.
Wenn ich das Foto mache, ist es wieder Bereich, wo man echt das Bild sehen sollte.
You got it? You took the face. Little by little learning.
Because you cannot see its face is here. You cannot see it in the picture. You can only see it when you try to take the picture.
Okay, and then. Okay, you show the face. Somebody saw this one just today making poop on the ground. I don't know where. But somebody saw making poop.
How often do they need to go to the toilet? Once a week.
Take pictures, things like that, but don't go there. Only keep it here. I don't know why they put this over here.
Reminds me to Jurassic Park.
That in years.
Does this have a story?
The tree fall after the flood. So this, and then go down. All these big tree fall growing after this. There are some plains around here. And there's another one over there. You can see. Hey, you see the big tree growing after that. Yeah. Checking for king vulture. King vulture is like condor. Looks similar to condor. That's a highway for the leaf carriers. There's Shiramate and the strangle tree around. There's a lizard behind in the sun. Baby behind. New leaf coming because the transition in the winter is coming now. check the head, look like somebody cut the hair.
Yeah. That's for the howlers, right?
Rule out.
Ein Ast ist gar nicht so klein, ne?
Nee.
Okay. Ja.
No contain poison. So it's not calorie. Pero aquí ahorita nada más no nada ahí. Vimos uno allá por Naranjo. Por ahí había una huella ahí, puede ser que esté uno. Esos son buenos. Yeah, do it this way. Daniel. Un jaguar. Ay, ¿quieres verlo?
Sí, ahí está bien bonito. Este es el mejor ángulo. That's Harper, right?
Yeah, super big one.
This is nice angle.
Here, a big fuck here.
Te puedo buscar aquí.
Sí, la verdad.
Oh,
Yeah.
donne pas dans cette mer. C'est pour ça qu'elle a dit, ah parce que c'est marée basse. Et oui,
J'ai encore un piège là.
Elle a dit à la marée basse.
C'est parce que c'est marée basse.
Ah mais je me suis fait marée basse.
Ah, c'est marée basse.
Ah c'est marée basse.
It's like, even like in this next town, you can porque más, pues yo estaba donde lo primero que se no me hace audio, ya no hay distinto, no la estaba tocando. Solo la primera vez que tengo este diferencia de fuerza. Es como porque no quiero mojar. Okay. Yeah, he did. I was going to comment, but I didn't. I'm going to make sure I can let you out to the sea cutters.